I think we can all agree that Agent Kallus is just a terrible person, right? He was part of the Imperial Security Bureau for years, but then he gets one little strand of hair in front of his face and everyone thinks he's so hot and so cool. And sure, he defects to the rebellion, but are we really buying that? He didn't even bother to shave off his awful mutton chops. He was complicit in countless crimes, and maybe the worst of them all is how he spells his first name. Alexander with an S? Ew, terrible. I guess that's his parents' fault more than his own, but still, it's stupid. If you haven't gathered by now, or if this is the first time you've seen this kind of video from me, last week was DragonCon. Every year I compete in their trivia contest, and if I lose, I make a video about the question that knocked me out. I got second place this year, so it wasn't a bad showing at all, but the question that I lost on was to guess Agent Kallus's first name, and spelling counted, and it's got a freaking S in it. But the contest this year was a lot of fun, as usual, and the winner's story was really great. They're actually someone that you might recognize if you've been in our live stream chats. Their username is Callinstagram. But they're from Australia and flew all the way to DragonCon because I've been talking about this contest for 10 years at this point. I say it all the time, but part of the reason I started this channel was to study up and win, and out of the 13 times I've competed, I've only won 3 times. It's very hard. But Callinstagram knew how to spell Alexander the right way and basically beat me with my own name, which is hilarious. And then they gave this really heartfelt speech about their fandom and love for Star Wars and working with their wife to study. It was really nice and I was genuinely moved. And honestly, the contest this year was a weird one for me. I did get second place, but I felt like it was a struggle. So to run through how it works, on Saturday night you have to take a written test of 50 multiple choice questions. I will say this year was one of my better showings for that portion. I got the top score and only missed 3 questions. One was about the blaster Zuckuss uses, one I couldn't remember the name of the Zygerian bad guy in the Clone Wars Slaver arc, and the last one I missed a question about Thalius from the Thrawn Ascendancy trilogy. I should have known it, but I mixed myself up and I'm really frustrated, but that's about to become a running theme. The actual contest takes place the next day, so the top 8 scorers go up in front of a crowd and answer questions. The first round went well for me and I advanced to round 2. In that second part, we're shown pictures of characters or creatures or whatever, and we have to write down what it is. And I completely blanked on 2 questions I should have known. One was the name of the Raider class Corvette, which I love as a ship, and I just couldn't pull it. That one wasn't that embarrassing, but I also, for the life of me, could not remember Koska Reeves' name, and I was the only person up there that didn't get it. That's like my nightmare, to completely blank on something I know and that everyone else knows and that like everyone in the room knows. That's probably around the time my watch buzzed and asked if I was okay because my heart rate had spiked while I was sitting still. Having done this for 13 years, I'm really starting to notice my age coming into play. I'm 38, and not that I think I'm crazy old or anything, but I can feel my recall getting worse. Although on the flip side, I think there was 1 or maybe 2 questions in round 2 where I was the only one to know the answer. My mind is a strange place at this point, just filled with knowledge that's useful exactly one specific time a year. But all that to say, I think Callinstagram really earned that win. They played a nearly perfect game. We were the only 2 that advanced to round 3, which is sudden death, and the Callus question was the very first one. But something that was special about this year was that it was the 15th anniversary of the competition, so we wound up having a second contest immediately after the first one. Daniel, who writes and hosts the contest every year, usually throws in a Jar Jar Binks round. Well, this year, after all 8 competitors answered Star Wars questions for an hour, we had to go up and do it again, and on top of that, every single question was about Jar Jar, which was delightful. That was a really fun time. Everyone was feeling looser, and the contest just had a sillier vibe to it. We were all kind of trading lighthearted barbs with each other and with Daniel. That was super fun. I made it to round 2 of the Jar Jar game, but didn't get enough right to go on to round 3. That wound up being Callinstagram and Eli from Star Wars in a Galaxy podcast, and Callinstagram won again. So they chose the right DragonCon to come to. They flew across the world and got to win twice. And that was Eli's first time competing too. Taking second place is not bad at all. But yeah, I still love this contest. I have made some great friends because of it. Some of them I get to see all the time because they live in Atlanta, and some of them I only see at Dragon Con. But there's a real sense of camaraderie between all the people who have been tortured and humbled by Daniel over the years. And even though it's a contest, everyone has a great attitude. Nobody gets too competitive. Nobody treats winning the contest as if it's some kind of proof that they're a superior fan. That's very important to me. And I'm gonna keep on competing until my brain just can't keep up with all of the younger competitors. And I was just kind of realizing as I was writing this video, I think I was the oldest person up at that table, so yeah, my days may be numbered as the next generation of Star Wars nerds come up behind me. But that's the end of my annual Dragon Con trivia recap this year. Thank you all for humoring my Callus rant, and to be clear, I think he's a great character, and yes, he does look good with that strand of hair in front of his face. People always ask if the trivia panel is recorded or shared anywhere, and Dragon Con specifically asks people not to do that. But if you want to see an example of it, we did a live stream of it on our channel back in 2020, since Dragon Con didn't happen in person because of COVID. You can also take this year's written quiz online. They've been posting them since 2020, so I'll link to that in the description. But congratulations to Callinstagram again, and I'll be back next year to try to retake that crown. Until then, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on our socials, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.